Title: The 1950s, A Decade of Transformation and Cultural Shifts. Introduction. The 1950s, often referred to as the Golden Age or the post-war era, marked a period of significant change and transition in various aspects of society. Emerging from the aftermath of World War II, the world witnessed a remarkable transformation in politics, economics, technology, and culture. This essay delves into the multifaceted landscape of the 1950s, exploring the key historical events, social dynamics, and cultural shifts that shaped this pivotal decade. The post-war reconstruction. The 1950s witnessed the arduous process of post-war reconstruction, with nations across the globe striving to rebuild and recover from the devastation of World War II. In the United States, the implementation of the Marshall Plan fueled economic growth, leading to the emergence of a prosperous middle class and a consumer-driven society. Europe also experienced a period of reconstruction, as nations reconstructed their infrastructure, stimulated industrial production, and established political stability. The Cold War and the rise of superpowers. The 1950s were dominated by the Cold War, a period of geopolitical tension between the United States and the Soviet Union. The arms race and the development of nuclear weapons intensified the rivalry between these superpowers. The fear of communism led to the Red Scare in the United States, with the government launching investigations into alleged communist activities, notably the McCarthy hearings. The ideological divide between capitalism and communism shaped international politics, influencing conflicts such as the Korean War and the beginning of the Vietnam War. The baby boom and suburbanization. The post-war era witnessed a significant demographic shift with the advent of the baby boom. Soldiers returning from war started families, leading to a surge in birth rates and a booming population growth. This demographic change had profound implications for society, including the increased demand for housing and the rise of suburbanization. The American dream of owning a home in the suburbs became a reality for many families, as they sought security, space, and a sense of community outside the crowded urban centers. The consumer culture and economic expansion. The 1950s marked the rise of consumer culture, as the availability of goods and technological advancements transformed the way people lived and interacted. The introduction of television as a mass medium revolutionized entertainment and advertising, creating a visual and consumer-driven society. The rise of iconic brands and products, such as automobiles, televisions, and household appliances, reflected the era's emphasis on material prosperity. This economic expansion was fueled by increased consumer spending, supported by credit cards and installment plans. Gender roles and the feminine mystique. The 1950s were characterized by a traditional division of gender roles, as society embraced the notion of the nuclear family. Women, who had played significant roles in the workforce during the war, were encouraged to return to domesticity and fulfill the idealized roles of wife and mother. However, the publication of Betty Friedan's influential book, The Feminine Mystique, in 1963 laid the groundwork for the feminist movement by questioning these societal expectations and advocating for women's rights and opportunities beyond the home. The Civil Rights Movement. While the Civil Rights Movement gained significant momentum in the 1960s, its roots can be traced back to the 1950s. African Americans, inspired by the successes of the civil rights struggle in the courts, such as the landmark Brown v. Board of Education ruling in 1954, started challenging racial segregation and discrimination. Notable events, such as the Montgomery bus boycott led by Rosa Parks in 1955, and the formation of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference by Martin Luther King Jr., set the stage for the transformative fight for equality that would define the subsequent decade. Cultural icons and entertainment. The 1950s witnessed the emergence of cultural icons and popular figures that left an indelible mark on society. Musicians like Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry revolutionized the sound of rock and roll, igniting a youth culture that challenged traditional norms. Hollywood also experienced a golden age, with the rise of iconic stars like Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, who embodied the spirit of the era. Additionally, literature and art underwent significant transformations, with the Beat generation challenging societal conventions and abstract expressionism redefining the boundaries of artistic expression. Paragraph 8. Television played a pivotal role in shaping popular culture and social dynamics in the 1950s. It became a central form of entertainment and a powerful medium for disseminating information and shaping public opinion. Families gathered around the television set to watch popular shows like I Love Lucy, The Ed Sullivan Show, and The Honeymooners. Television not only reflected the values and aspirations of the era but also influenced them, presenting an idealized vision of the American family and promoting consumerism through advertising. It brought the world into people's living rooms, offering a window to global events and fostering a shared cultural experience. Paragraph 9. The 1950s saw significant advancements in science and technology, leading to groundbreaking innovations that transformed various aspects of life. The development of the transistor revolutionized electronics and laid the foundation for modern computers and communication systems. The launch of the first artificial satellite, Sputnik, by the Soviet Union in 1957 marked the beginning of the space age and triggered a space race between the United States and the Soviet Union. These technological achievements not only propelled scientific exploration but also inspired imagination and instilled a sense of wonder and possibility for the future. Paragraph 10. The 1950s witnessed a flourishing of artistic expression, particularly in the realm of literature and theater. Writers like J.D. Salinger, Allen Ginsberg, and Jack Kerouac emerged as influential voices, challenging conventional norms and capturing the disillusionment and restlessness of the era. The Beat generation, with its emphasis on nonconformity and spiritual exploration, rejected societal conventions and sought alternative paths of self-expression. In the theater, playwrights like Tennessee Williams and Arthur Miller addressed societal issues and depicted the struggles and aspirations of the American people. Paragraph 11. Sports played a significant role in American culture during the 1950s. Baseball, known as America's pastime, captured the nation's attention, with stars like Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays captivating fans with their athletic prowess. The National Football League also experienced growth and popularity, as television coverage brought the game into households across the country. Legendary players such as Jim Brown and Johnny Unitas became household names, and the Super Bowl was born at the end of the decade. Sports provided a sense of unity and offered moments of escape and excitement amidst the challenges of the times. Paragraph 12. The 1950s marked a period of significant advancements in civil aviation. The introduction of jet engines revolutionized air travel, enabling faster and more efficient flights. The Boeing 707, introduced in 1958, heralded the era of commercial jet travel, making international travel more accessible and reducing travel times significantly. This technological leap had profound implications for global connectivity, trade, and tourism, and it paved the way for the modern era of air transportation. Paragraph 13. The 1950s were also characterized by a surge in suburban development and the creation of planned communities. Levittown, a groundbreaking suburban development on Long Island, New York, set the template for post-war suburban living. These communities offered affordable homes, spacious yards, and a sense of community, attracting families seeking stability and the promise of the American dream. Suburbanization reshaped the social fabric and challenged traditional urban centers, leading to the proliferation of shopping malls, drive-in theaters, and other suburban amenities. Paragraph 14. The advent of rock and roll music in the 1950s brought a seismic shift in popular culture. Influenced by African American rhythm and blues, rock and roll embodied youthful rebellion and freedom of expression. Artists like Chuck Berry, Little Richard, and Buddy Holly captivated audiences with their electrifying performances and infectious tunes. The genre not only revolutionized music but also became a powerful force in breaking down conclusion. The 1950s were a transformative decade, characterized by post-war reconstruction, political tensions, and societal shifts. It was a period of both conformity and rebellion, with the emergence of consumer culture, the reinforcement of traditional gender roles, and the beginnings of significant movements for civil rights and women's rights. The legacy of the 1950s continues to shape our understanding of modern society, providing insights into the complexities of a pivotal era that laid the groundwork for the transformative changes that would follow in the decades ahead. Paragraph 15. In the 1950s, children's roles in society were primarily defined within the context of the traditional nuclear family. With the emergence of the post-war baby boom, Children were seen as the future of the nation and were often cherished and protected within the confines of the home. The idealized image of the 1950s child was that of a well-behaved, obedient, and innocent individual who would grow up to fulfill the expectations of society. Children were expected to respect authority, particularly that of their parents and teachers, and were encouraged to follow societal norms and values. Paragraph 16. Education played a central role in shaping children's lives in the 1950s. The baby boom resulted in increased enrollment in schools, prompting the expansion of educational institutions and the development of standardized curricula. Children attended formal schools, where they were taught a structured curriculum that emphasized basic academic subjects, such as reading, writing, and arithmetic. Discipline and conformity were strongly emphasized, with children expected to follow rules and exhibit good behavior. School became a place where children learned not only academic knowledge but also social skills and proper manners.